Hi, this is Kevin, and today we are going to start chapter 12 in our textbook, which is about adjective clauses. So, this presentation will cover some general information about this grammar point, and I will also basically cover the information in the grammar charts 12.1, 12.2, 12.3, and 12.4 in our textbook. Okay, so if you have more questions about this presentation, you can always check there or ask me. Okay, so let's get going. So the big picture is, before we start, what's a clause, right? We can't talk about adjective clauses if you don't know what a clause is. So in English, and actually in most languages, every language starts with a sound, right, or the phoneme. And then in the written form, these are letters or something like letters. And then those letters combine, or those sounds combine to make words. Words have a meaning. And then a phrase is just a couple words that might have a more complete meaning. And then a clause is something that it's like a phrase. It's maybe a few words long, and it has a subject and a verb. So there's some action happening in a clause. And then a sentence is a complete idea. A group of sentences makes a paragraph. And then after a paragraph, we have many, many different types of ways to organize ideas, right? Those could be, letters, messages in a text message, an email, essays, articles, magazines, books, series of books, right? Those larger ways of organizing ideas there's hundreds and thousands of ways to organize, but that's the basic big picture, right? And today we're starting to focus on clauses. Okay, so just to say this point again, here's letters or sounds, those sounds and the letters ROM make the word room. Dark room. This is an adjective phrase. The dark room. This would be called a noun phrase. And then in the dark room, this is a prepositional phrase because we have a preposition at the beginning. Okay. So those are all phrases. Today, we're talking about clauses, right? So look at this one. In the dark room, I couldn't see. So here, this is called an independent clause. And remember, a clause has a subject and a verb, but an independent clause means it's a complete idea. It's an idea that makes sense. We can understand it. And that's called a sentence. And here is what we're studying today. In the dark room, I couldn't see the guy who was wearing black clothes. Now this underlined part, who was wearing black clothes, this is an adjective clause. Okay? Or these are also this is called a dependent clause. In English, we have three types of dependent clauses. So a dependent clause has a subject and a verb, but it's not complete by itself. It's not a complete idea. So you can't have it as a single sentence or a single idea when you're speaking or when you are writing, especially. So it must always be connected to an independent clause like this one, right? So this adjective clause here is connected to this independent clause, this sentence. Okay, so here's three examples of dependent clauses. Okay, because it is so hot, or because it is so humid outside, this is incorrect. It's not complete idea. Or when you finish exercise 3, do what, right? It's not complete. You don't know. You can't understand the meaning. And then if he's eaten dinner yet, so what, right? Without the end of this sentence, we don't understand the meaning completely. Okay. So today, why are these called adjective clauses? Well, that's because they do the same or very similar job to regular adjectives And regular adjectives describe nouns or give information about nouns, right? So, for example, my bedroom has green curtains. Green is the adjective. It's describing the noun curtains. Okay. But here's an adjective clause. My kitchen has bamboo shades that are brown. So shades is the noun, and then after that we have this adjective clause, that are brown. And this adjective clause is describing shades, right? Now you may notice usually in English we put the adjective before the noun, but adjective clauses will always come after the noun that they describe. Okay, so is there anything else that you need to know? Like I said, adjective clauses always come directly after the noun they describe. That's always 100% true. Okay, so for example, C, the best choice that I ever made was coming to Chubu. Maybe that's true for you, or maybe it's true for me. It's just an example. So this adjective clause is describing choice, okay? And I say subject here because adjective clauses come after the noun, right? And in English, nouns can come in 3 places in a sentence. They can be a subject, they can be the object of a verb, or the object of a preposition. So that's where you can find adjective clauses. So here in example D, I saw a woman who was yelling on the phone. In this sentence, the adjective clause, who was yelling on the phone, is describing woman. But woman is a noun, and it is the object of this verb saw. I is the subject, right? I saw, and then a woman is the object. So now this adjective clause is after an object of a verb. Okay? And this is, if you feel confused, don't worry too much. It's not so important right now, but maybe later as we continue to study next week, this will become more important. Okay, so for right now, you can just kind of listen and pay attention. Example E, she was very angry with the man whom she was talking to. All right. This time, whom she was talking to is the adjective clause describing man. And this time, man is the object of a preposition with. Okay, so here's prepositional phrase with the man. And then this is a noun. And after this noun, we have the adjective clause. Okay, so those are the 3 places that you can find adjective clause. After a subject, after object of a verb, or after the object of a preposition. Okay. Are you confused yet? It's a little more difficult grammar. Other things that you need to remember, this is useful just for talking about the grammar. You don't need to remember this for your regular life. But the connecting word is called a relative pronoun. So we use these to start an adjective clause. Who, that, or whom is used for people. Which or that is used for things. And usually this isn't, I don't think this is in our grammar book, and sometimes this doesn't come up in the grammar books, but when is used for times or periods of time, and where is used for places or situations. So when and where can also be used to start an adjective clause. So you should keep your eye out for that when you see or hear it. Okay? And the other thing to keep in mind is a relative, we can drop the relative pronoun or delete it when it's after an object. So those earlier examples, it's very common in speech to drop these relative pronouns, the who, the whom, that, which. It's very common to delete these in speech and even in writing. So, and this happens when they're an object of a verb or preposition. So here, example F, the man whom I saw said hello to me. Or the man who I saw said hello to me. The man and zero. This zero means nothing. The man I saw said hello to me. Okay, so it's very common to just drop those and have nothing there. Okay, or here, this one, example G, the number one show, which, that, or zero, people are watching is on Netflix. So the number one show people are watching is on Netflix. Netflix, excuse me. Usually these get dropped. Okay, so just be ready to see that, I guess. Okay, I think that's it. I've gone kind of fast. This presentation's a little bit long, but I think you probably already have studied this grammar in high school before. So some of this might be review, but it's usually very tricky when you try to actually use this grammar in your speech or your writing. So we'll do some practice with it the rest of this semester. And I think that's it. I'll stop here. Please let me know if you have any comments or questions. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.